Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right there on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Instead of here, I say there, and I think I may have said some sort of Louisiana Southern way of afternoon.
Louisiana, you say?
It was bizarre. That was a weird, full-throated but odd way to introduce the show. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you get to listen live via the streaming free always. You know, I never really know where it's going to go because I don't practice that intro. And in given days, sometimes the voice cracks. Sometimes it's right on point. Other days, it just goes full-on Louisiana.
I'm impressed that it doesn't crack more often because you put a lot of gusto into it, and that asks consistency.
Yeah, you're right. I am surprised. Maybe it's just gotten used to it over the many, many years of doing that. I thought about not doing that anymore. But then every time I bring that up, people say, no, you got to do that. You got to do that. It's kind of a signature of the show. So, I don't have to always say good afternoon and welcome, everybody, at full-throated as it is. But it goes back to my morning show days. Because when you do morning shows, they want you to liven the joint up. People are damn tired. You start those things at 6 a.m. Most people at 6 a.m. aren't exactly, tap dancing. They're pissed that they got to go to work. They're in their car, and they don't need some dude just as tired as they are going, hey, how you doing? They want you to come in there firing.
What are your thoughts on that as a consumer, though? Because, I used to have the old FM alarm clock, and I'd go to different stations over the years of growing up. And
by the way, you're going to strike down a path here. I got strong opinions about alarm clocks, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, the alarm clock decision aside, I didn't like people shout. I'm not ready for that yet.
It depends on what they're shouting at me about. I can't have anybody shout at me at any point about politics. I'm not doing that, ever. So that would never happen. But secondarily, because I want that to be a heady conversation, and I want there to be some balance in that. There isn't anymore, but I would like that, right? In sports, you can shout at me a little bit if that's your shtick and you're good at it. It can't be manufactured. I got to know that's your thing. And then, like if you're a New York talk show host, a sports talk show host, let's say, and you talk like a New Yorker talks at 1,000 miles per hour with the slang and everything, if that's who you are and I know that, I'm fine with it. I can deal with that. If that's not who you are and you're forcing it, that comes across too. It's got to be of you.
When I was very young, I used to listen to 93.3 WFLZ in the morning in Tampa. And that was the MJ and BJ in the morning show. And
that sounds like the name of a morning show.
Oh, it was. But they had bits that, at the time, they weren't old yet. I was experiencing these bits for the first time, prank calls, and they'd have the guy go to the drive-thru and shout at the top of his lungs. And if the drive-thru person said, sir, can you please lower your voice, he won $20. He's like the poor guy on the show.
Right.
So they did stuff like that.
Oh, the shenanigans of FM morning shows.
Oh, they were wild, man. They were just wild dudes.
Crazy people,
with the innuendos and such.
Mm.
But then as I grew older, I moved over to AM, which doesn't exist anymore, really. And they had, countdown to the cliches, and they had trivia questions in the morning and all that stuff on our local morning show. That was nice. So you get me into the facts in the morning.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what I would do if I did mornings now. Would I yell at everybody the way I introduce the show now? I probably would have to, right?
I think you'd be more awake for that than you are now, and that's not knocking you for now.
I'm wide awake right now, Tom.
You're a morning guy, though, especially
these days.
You have an extra special kind of glow to you, from an audio standpoint.
Well, when you have kids, you too will become a morning. You have